Well, we're on the Madawaska. Maybe this was a mistake, I don't know, but we went from Obiango Lake this morning and we did over 7 kilometers of portaging. We portaged through Pog Lake Campground. That's kind of weird. It's a dead end, Andy. Oh well.
It sounds like this whole trip.
Went across the highway. And we looked at the map and said, you know, we got to do this stretch or stay at Pog Lake Campgrounds. We said, no, let's do this stretch. We can do it. It won't take that long. It's around 7 o'clock right now. We have no idea where we are. It just like meanders, meanders, meanders.
Look, I'm touching both sides.
I am second guessing this trip. I'm exhausted. Totally exhausted.
Even at the risk of sounding wimpy, one of my favorite spots is Lake of Two Rivers Campground, where the river comes into the lake on one end, you have the whole entire length of the lake along the side of the highway, and then you continue on down south, and you can literally paddle for a good day or two, and you cross different campgrounds where you see campers on the side. I enjoy that part of it a lot.
Portaging at 8 o'clock at night, it's crazy. It's an 11-hour day. We're ahead of the game now. So I think Andy will be able to finish the trip with me, which is worth it. Well, Andy, we are an hour away from darkness, I think. So you think we'll get a campsite before it gets dark?
I'm hoping.
Algonquin waters beckon to all who love the wild. Each spirit knows content.
It's kind of cool. Where are we, Andy?
We are at Camp Tanamakoon.
We love Tanamakoon!
And I was just admiring all these posts from every year. They've been in operation since 1925, I guess. It's cool. Like, I didn't grow up going to camps and whatnot, but I found it intriguing, the little culture that evolves, and they're singing songs to each other to commemorate, you know, some campers that are going out on a trip for many days now, and welcoming new campers into the camp.
I don't think I would have been the person I am today without coming to camp. It's made me such a better person. It's made me definitely a happier person.
You come to realize a lot about who you are and about the kind of person you want to be. I think it's just really good to get away from the city and the buzz and all the noise and lights and internet.
Hey, good, how are you?
Pathfinder, it's homegrown staff, grew up as kids here, got trained up, 1 to 2 staff ratio to campers. Going out on 9-man trips, wood canvas canoes, minimum of gear, focusing on food, fishing, traveling, really getting to know the park. And kids making a career of it, you know, getting 3 out of 4 of our kids to come back every year.
I don't get homesick at camp, I get camp sick at home, so.
The best 18 days of my life.
Like when you're up here, you don't have to worry about like all the other stuff that you deal with in city life, you know. You don't have to worry about all like paying, you know, for college and dealing with your annoying older sister and stuff like that, so.
Kayak! Get flippity men! Come out of the woods and baby your chin! We're rolling, we're rough like a song! Pathfinder, rah, rah,
rah! As you can see behind me, there is no water in the Oxtonque River. That's very, very disappointing. We only got 2 days, maybe 3, but probably 2 days left, and we're like really looking forward to just floating down the Oxtonque and running some rapids. And Andy and I both have run this river many, many times. It's a beautiful river to paddle. Not now. It's really low. They closed the dam. The ironic thing is we're walking the thing. It goes back to the Big East River. It's almost like it's Groundhog Day. It really is Groundhog Day. We're going back in time. And it just stinks too. Like the whole river smells bad because it's down quite a bit and it's all dead vegetation along the shore. What did we expect? Do we expect a really easy way to finish the meanest link? Probably not. Yes, we did. Yes, we did actually. Oh well. We'll persevere. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Why is our canoe on the
it fell there. See, we ran some rapids and we went up this giant wave and kind of launched off this rock, and then
I just happened to be driving by and look at what happened. I can't figure this one out.
There's no water in that river. So Rich saw us at Algonquin Outfitters while we're paddling by, and he said, you know what, I'll drive you around the dam.
Well, I should confess too that, you know, there is a portage around this too that you could...
Oh no, well, gotta cut, gotta go, look at the time. This is the lower Oxtonque, and we just waded a whole pile of rapids, and now we're in the low part just before the main lake towards Dwight. This is perfect, because the last couple of days have been getting closer and closer to civilization. Jet skis and motorboats and people and everything else. And this is sort of a goodbye for us, I think. This little stretch of this beautiful river in the middle of development. I mean, we can hear lawnmowers, I can smell a barbecue, which smells really good. But we're paddling through this little oasis. I don't think Andy will ever go canoeing with me ever again. But I think what him and I got most out of it, we were talking about last night, was to be out for a good solid amount of time, not just the weekend.
The thing is, people go on short trips and it rains, or short trips and something happens, they get wet, and they say, oh, I hate it. But the thing about a long trip is that you're going to get a little bit of that, but then you're going to get a day like today, and you're going to see some nice scenery, and you're going to see a moose maybe, and the experience stretches out, and the chances of having a great experience increase. Whereas if you only go for a weekend, it's a bit hit and miss.
You just get to experience so much more when you go on a longer trip. I mean, and shorter trips are fun, and you still get to experience like the nature and the beauty, but you don't really get to sort of settle down into the trip and just really appreciate where you are and what you're doing. And you make so many more like memories on a longer trip that just like they stay with you forever, and it's just, you appreciate them so much. Like, I'm so happy I did my 2-week canoe trip.
We got the 1 day left, and dealt with a lot of things on the trip, but we almost couldn't finish because of private property. We're going around a falls just after the one highway, and our old map that we have says that there's a park there, and we actually can use a portage, and we found a path, and I get there and there's a house there. So I go there and ask what's up, and sure enough, it's private property, and there was no way we're going through. And on the other side of the falls, private property, no way we're going through. I went, really? How can you do that in Canada? Like, you have to be able to portage around a falls, I thought. And but I did talk to her a little bit and chit-chatted, and she said, well, only this once. Well, I said, no problem, because I'm not doing this trip again. Could you believe that? Could you believe that actually after 15, 16 days, whatever days we're out, I don't know how many days, we got one left, and we do like 350 kilometers, 93 portages, 68 kilometers of portaging, and one private land issue, our second last portage on the trip. And we almost had to go back. Yeah, right, no way. I think Andy could have took her.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. We're setting up camp, is what we're doing. Where we are, no idea.
Here's the thing, we're almost done, and it's almost like we're at the finish line, and we're like, we got to hold ourselves back, because we're like, okay, there's no real place to camp between Algonquin Outfitters at Oxtonque Lake to Huntsville, except maybe a resort. I don't think they'll accept us, I'm not sure.
A van pulled up, hoods over our head, driven to a strange location, and we've been released here. Actually, where we are right now is town of Dwight, and we are at the Hurley residence. Peggy and Jack, is it?
We're camping in their backyard, the Hurleys. Jack Hurley is, by the way, is a really well-known canoe maker. He has made and still making the Pathfinder canoes, the cedar canvas.
I take my eulogy about 7 years ago, and one of the questions was, where and when were you happiest? And all of my happiness is all Algonquin Park.
He's a legend, and it was really cool to actually have him allow us to stay in his backyard. This is cool. Well, we probably have to do chores later. We'll find out we have to do chores, won't we? This is child labor. We slept in the backyard, and I got a chain to my leg. We're not allowed to leave until this canoe is done. It's an awful place. Never visit the Hurleys.
Anytime Kevin Callan's working, it's child labor.
Well, Andy and I are coming into port, going to Huntsville. We're, gosh, maybe less than a kilometer away. We're going, boy, it's a culture shock. There was a helicopter over us, jet skis everywhere, boats, water skiing. We got pulled over by the police and they checked our gear to make sure we had everything. That was a priceless moment. And there's a whole bunch of things happening downtown for some reason. It's just packed. I don't know what's going on downtown. Welcome to Huntsville. The trip's over. Our wilderness is gone. Oh well, it was a good trip. We've been out for so long, we don't know how to deal with society when we get back.
That's right. It might be strange for us to reintegrate ourselves into the modern world because we've kind of created our own world out here in the bush. So we're coming up with tactics, things we can do, and you know, I suggested putting a tent up in each other's backyards and sleeping there.
You were going to portage to work?
Yes, I'm just going to carry the canoe to work and back just so I feel better. Mr. Cowan suggested that perhaps me and my wife would wake up and he'd be between us in his sleeping bag. So yeah, we're going to have to kind of make some adjustments to make sure that we survive coming out of this environment into, I guess, the modern world.
It's going to be tough.
It will be.